Okay, YouTube, we're going to be doing a super flush on the radiator on this 2000 Ford Mustang. It's my wife's car. It's a V6 engine in it. It got that 3.8. So those of you who don't know how to do it or need help, you can use this video. We're going to start by using this Prestone flush and cleaner. I'm just going to add it to the radiator. I'm gonna do it the same way. Shout out to Chris Fix. He started his with not draining it and leaving the original fluid and whatnot in there, and just adding the Prestone flush and cleaner. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that now, and just watch. So as you can see, I already took the radiator cap off. Next, you want to get your funnel, put it in there, open up your super flush, and start adding it in. Now if you're doing this with a full radiator, there is, and you want it to all go down, there's a bleed valve right here. If you follow the upper radiator hose, tube right here, it'll come down to the thermostat housing, and right on that thermostat housing on the V6 Mustangs, there's a bleed valve right here. So if you want all that to go down in there, just open up that bleed valve. It'll let the pressure out. Your antifreeze will come out, that will drain down, and then once you got everything in there, close that bleed valve back off and put your radiator cap back on and go and drive. I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna do that real quick, and once I finish that, we'll get started back with the next portion of the video. Alright, I got my tool, like I was saying, to get that to go down, to drain down the funnel. I said open this bleed valve. Now I'm going to be using a 15mm wrench. I'm using a ratcheting one. You just open it up. Just open it up. You can take it all the way out if you want. As you can see, it went down. Got the air out. That's another way to bleed the air out of the system. Add the rest. As you can see, it's starting to come out over there. Make sure to have something on the ground to catch this stuff. It's empty. It's all drained in. Put your bleed screw back in. Make sure to tighten it back down. And that's it. Put your radiator cap back on. Now that I got the radiator cap back on, I'm going to go drive this around according to the instructions to do a deep cleaning. You got to drive it around about 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 6 hours over the period of a few days. Well, my wife's engine's pretty dirty on the inside, so I'm probably going to drive it around for a few hours today, and then I'll be back to drain it and see what it looks like. Alright, that's it for now. Alright, I'm back from my drive. I was driving my wife's car for about, I'd probably say 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. Let's see, I've been probably letting it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour already. I mean, it's pretty cool to the touch now. Just, check your upper radiator hose and your lower radiator hose, before you decide to take off the radiator cap, because if this isn't, when it's real hot, it's under pressure, and you definitely don't want this thing exploding into your face. I do have the safety cap, so if there is any pressure I can just lift up and it will relieve the excess pressure and push the hot antifreeze into the overflow tank. Now I'm about to drain this, and my wife does have one of those drain plugs at the bottom, which is actually down here on the right side, passenger side of the vehicle. If you look, I'm zooming into it right now, sticks out the side, but unfortunately hers is broken, so you can't actually take it out. So your next option is to unbolt the lower radiator hose, which is down here on the bottom of the driver's side, you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and unbolt that and drain the fluid, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I got the lower radiator hose off and it's drained. This is what the coolant looks like now. It looks fresh because I did a flush not too long ago, but it was kind of like a quick flush just to see if it would help, because the main problem my wife's car is having is as it's overheating, but only in stop and go traffic with AC on. So I'm doing a complete flush today. I'm going to be replacing the thermostat. I replaced this radiator cap when I did the last flush, so I'm doing a more in detail one this time. Hopefully that will alleviate her little overheating problem. But yeah, like I said, it's only in stop and go traffic with the AC on. If she turns the AC off, it's all fine and dandy. AC on in stop and go traffic, not so fine and dandy. So I'm going to go ahead and put that hose back on. I'm going to fill it back up with water and add another thing of flush. But I'm also going to take out the thermostat as well right now and run it without a thermostat, just so it can constantly be flowing the water through. And I'm just going to drive it till it gets close to operating temperature. Come back, drain it again. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so I'm going to start by taking the thermostat out. Now, like I said, follow the upper radiator hose to the thermostat housing, and you'll see a clamp down there. You want to get your pliers on the clamp. It's really hard to do one-handed. Hopefully you can see right there. And it's an 8. Okay, it might be still a little warm or hot, so use yourself a rag, pop it off. There you go. There's the thermostat housing. Here's the thermostat. Just remember that this point faces out from the engine. That side faces in the engine. Alright, thermostat's out. Now I'm just gonna clean up that gasket and then put a new gasket on it and close it back up so I can run some more water and Prestone cleaner slash flush through it, and I'll be back when I'm done with that. Alright, I'm going to start by cleaning this. I'm going to use a razor blade and go along the edge. Just be careful because this is aluminum and don't cut yourself. There you go. Gasket's off. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and start doing that, and unfortunately I don't have any way to hold the camera for you to see and do it at the same time. So I'm going to turn the camera off at this point. Alright, as you can see I got the gasket scraped off. Here's the new gasket. There's the part number. I got it from Advance. Alright, let's go put the gasket back in on there. Put the housing back on without thermostat. Run it. Go drive, you know, for about 10 minutes around the block with just water and the pressed stone flush, which is right here. Don't put some more there in there, with that in there, and yeah. Once I get that in there, I'll go take it around the block. Now I got it roughly back in there, and I wasn't recording it because it's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but I got this one, you know, finger tight. Now if you move over to the other side and finger tighten it, you know, get it nice and snug. Not too snug. Don't want to strip anything because this is aluminum that we're threading into. There we go. And that's it. You just get your hose back on, like so. Next step is to put water and press them back into the radiator. See how it's burping like that? It's a good thing to open that bleeder valve. It helps prevent that burping, you know, potentially sloshing stuff in your face. Before I go any further, I got some pressed stone, the pressed stone flush and cleaner in there. I'm going to go ahead and open this bleeder valve. Just makes it easier and quicker to get this water back in here. Okay, I'm just going to take it all the way out. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. And there we go. It's coming out. Got your air out. Go ahead. Well, now that your air is out, put that screw back in. Put your cap back in. Go ahead and drive it some more, and yeah, come back and then flush it again. Drain it, just put straight water, flush, and then antifreeze, thermostat, all that good stuff. So this is, I turned the car on, it's running. See how it's starting to raise. I'm gonna add some more water. Then what I want to do to bring it down is I'm going to rev the engine. So I'm just going to rev the engine up. I'm going to do that and pour some more water in, and while the engine's revved, I'll put the cap on, radiator cap. So that helped get a lot of the air out. I know it looked a little crazy, but definitely helped get a little bit of the air out. I'm going to go ahead and put some more fluid in the overflow tank, some more water, and then hit the road, and we'll be back. Okay, so I come back after my second drive. I'm about to take off the lower radiator hose now and drain the coolant. I'm going to just go ahead and add the thermostat back in, the new thermostat, and go with coolant and water and call it a day. This is I went with the Stant OE spec 195 Fahrenheit thermostat. There's the part number from Advanced Auto Parts. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started and take this lower radiator hose off, which is right down there again on the driver's side on the bottom. Alright, I got the lower radiator hose off, drained the fluid. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit up this top radiator hose, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I got the upper radiator hose off. I have taken off the thermostat housing and the gasket as well. So this side always goes to your radiator. This side always goes to the engine. This bottom. So I mean, on the thermostat housing, there's actually a groove down here that slides right in there. Your gasket will go over, and then you gotta get that in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Back down in there, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the thermostat housing and thermostat back in with the new gasket on there as well. Got the upper radiator hose back on. Now I'm just going to put on the lower radiator hose. I'll tighten down the clamp, and then time to fill her back up. When I get this lower radiator hose tightened back on, I'll be back. So just like before, my fellow YouTubers, just to make this easier for you guys, if you're doing this on a V6 Mustang, go ahead and take this bleeder valve out, and then start adding your antifreeze. Now I buy full strength always, mainly because I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth when I buy 50/50, and you know, I end up splitting it myself. So I'm basically getting two 50/50s for $1 more than 50/50, which is always nice. Go ahead and let that go down. Go ahead and add some more. Now, one thing that you always want to do when you're doing these, a good way to check you know, that everything is working the way it's supposed to when you finish, is when the temperature gauge starts getting towards the middle, touch your upper and lower radiator hose. Now be careful because they might be hot, so you know, just give them a little light tap, and if the top one's hot and the bottom one's hot, you know everything's good. Especially if you have an electric fan, when that kicks on, if it's pushing cold air past the radiator, you have air in your system, which means you need to bleed it better. If it's blowing out hot air past that fan, you know, through that fan, you know you did something right. If it's blowing cold, you got a problem. So that's 1 gallon of antifreeze, straight antifreeze. Now I'm going to start adding my water. Oh, it's starting to come out the bleeder valve. Go ahead and put that cork back in. Just a little bit so it can still bleed, just not as aggressively. As you can see, there's still air in the system, so it's slowly pushing it out. Slowly but surely. You don't want any bubbles in there. Well, when this is finished, I'll be back. Now I've come back. Now you can see coolant starting to come out. There's no bubbles. That means that it's been flushed. I mean, the air is out of the lines for the majority of the part. I mean, you can't get every single little air bubble out, but you can get the majority of it out. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back down. Looks like there's a storm coming in. We can finish this up. Quick and energy. Alright. Well, that's it. That's how you do a radiator flush on a 2000 Ford Mustang with a 3.8 V6. I hope I went, as detailed and I wasn't as crappy on the camera. I haven't made very many videos, so I'm sure my camera skills are probably crap, but with time I'll get better. Hopefully you guys will like and subscribe. Man, I can't talk today. Hopefully you guys will like and subscribe, and there'll definitely be more videos to come. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, if you have any questions on how to do this, hit me up in the messages down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Y'all have a good one. Peace.